Okay, hey everybody. Welcome to another episode of Just Some Christians podcast. Today I have a special guest, and it is my wife, the Sigma Alpha Pack leader, Irene Lee.
Wow, it's very monumental because we actually got my name changed at the Social Security. So him announcing me as Irene Lee is very timely. Yeah.
Yes. I'm very excited to have her on, obviously, not just because she is an important part of our church,
hmm
but today's topic is really crucial and I think like a key part of Irene's last chapter in life. And I think if you're listening, it'll be really important for you too, because the topic is going to be about consistency.
Mm.
So I want to talk about consistency
Mm.
today. And it's because, kind of where our church's direction is going is everybody at church needs to stop expecting to come to church and just give me, give me, give me, give me.
Mm.
I think a lot of people even right now are
hmm
expecting to come to church and like, PQ, give me all the wisdom and the words, the word of life. We're looking at the leaders and saying, feed me, feed me, feed me, give me, everyone give me. And really, if we keep doing that, it creates this toxic culture where the leaders and the staff, volunteers are always burnt out. And the people are coming to church in this kind of like, uh, almost like greedy mindset.
Yeah.
And church isn't supposed to be like that. Church is supposed to be a community and a family. And
Mm.
most importantly, I think my emphasis here is that we need to learn how to be filled at
Mm.
home.
Mm.
We need to learn how to seek God on our own so that we come to church so that we're still like asking to be fed, but we don't need so much.
Mm.
And that is like called something like maturity. I think Paul talks about it like at one time you were given like baby food, but you're not babies anymore.
Mm.
You have to learn how to feed yourself, and
Right.
that's part of growing up. And therefore, our church is going through a bunch of Christian disciplines.
Mm-hmm.
And I imagine actually that a lot of people at church are. This might be the first time. Actually, in your church experience, in your church life,
Yeah.
do you feel like you were taught Christian disciplines in this kind of way?
Not like this. I mean, right now, the sermon series you are doing is in love with God, and you're having us practically fall in love with God in little disciplines of our day, which is going on a walk in the morning, being still, and then now we're memorizing Psalm 23. I remember in church things like Bible reading plans and doing like devotionals and quiet times that they like prepared themselves and or like Bible memorizing, but it wasn't like practical things like taking a walk or like sleeping early or like being still. I think it was just mainly on like the Bible front and
Yeah,
then like joining random like clubs that
yeah,
they and community groups that they made, and so not like this, no.
yeah. And I think that those kind of church groups,
Mm-hmm.
events, and Bible plans are really important.
Mm.
But especially, I feel like the smaller church you go to, the medium-sized church, a church that doesn't have all the resources,
Mm.
which is our church,
Mm-hmm.
it's really important that each individual member learns to have those disciplines,
Mm.
learns to be able to go home and spend some time seeking the Lord, learns to receive from God directly,
Mm.
because ultimately, like I actually heard a Francis Chan sermon this past week, and he was saying that we need to destroy the Moses mentality.
Mm. Can you explain that?
I'll explain it very quickly. It's basically like back in the Old Testament,
Uh-huh.
the Israelites and this is how it was set up. The
Mm.
Israelites needed Moses to go up to Mount Sinai,
Mm.
get direct access to God, come down, tell the people what God was asking of them.
Yeah.
So Moses was the spiritual leader. Moses is the current pastor.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody wants Moses to go do it for them and come back and feed
Mm.
them.
Mm.
But the reason why Pran Chan was saying like we got to destroy this mindset is actually because the veil has been torn. There is someone greater than Moses that has come.
Right. Yeah.
And basically, the answer is Jesus,
Mm-hmm.
has made it so that we can have direct communion with God and Jesus and the Holy Spirit. We can receive from God Himself. So actually, it's supposed to be that if we believe in Jesus, then we should not seek for Moses.
Mm.
So basically, what I want to like briefly talk about today is, therefore, the number one key to these spiritual disciplines is consistency.
Consistency.
Consistency. And I think there is something like in a regular person's life
Mm-hmm.
that I think like if you are consistent, if you're disciplined, if you're able to persevere and keep doing something,
Right.
you are really going to succeed.
Mm.
I wanted to really ask you about consistency because if there is someone in my life that I'm like, wow, this person is really disciplined in something, right?
Mhm.
It could be anything.
Mm.
That's not like video games.
Mhm.
Consistent in something
Mm.
and not like school, like you have to go to school.
Right.
Something that you don't need to do, but like you know it's good for you.
Mhm.
I think it's Irene
Mm.
because in the last chapter she has been posting on TikTok for every single day, sometimes twice a day.
Mm.
And so I wanted to ask you, what made you start TikTok and
Mm.
how do you when or how do you think you became consistent?
I think actually started like years and years ago when TikTok was just like happening. Cause if you look at my like first video, it's like from 2000 and like 20. And so I was never consistent with it back then. I think I made like maybe like 3 videos at a time. And then like I started doing like, oh, maybe I should do like coffee videos. And so there's like you could like see seasons of my life where
Right.
I wanted to make specific videos on TikTok. And I think I don't know what sparked in me that I wanted to.
Because there's definitely a
There
day.
was a day that I was like, oh, I should just like keep posting. And maybe it was during, oh, you know what? It was during my bridal era. And I don't know if it was because my For You page was like all bridal. And so I was like, oh my gosh, like what a great way to like save all these memories, but also like post like all my bridal stuff area, because I think I posted about like my dress shopping, like my makeup and trial videos, and then taking my mom to get her Humboldt, and then our actual. So I think I like post. I think that's when I became a little bit more consistent. And still, then I don't think I did it every day. I think I like just posted whenever I had the content. Yeah, I don't know what like sparked my mind to want
Yeah, but
to.
it was the time when you decided I'm gonna post the series.
Yes, it was a series.
Right.
And it was because I think I saw a bunch of like 5 to 9 workday videos. And I don't know if that was probably the inspiration to be like, hey, like I could do that too. And so I think for me, I was like, oh, I should just post like simply like my day, what it is every day, like very ordinary things, which is my 5 to 9 and like what my 5 to 9 looks like. And so I made a like almost like a vow to myself that I wanted to post a video every day.
Yeah.
And so far, I have not lost my streak. It's like a streak. It's like a Be Real. It's like a Snapchat. Like I'm not trying to lose a streak. But because of that, I think I know every day that I have to post something. And so when I come back from home, I'm obviously like filming, and then I like edit real quick, and then I post it. And so in the back of my head after work, I'm like, oh, I have to post something. And so in the beginning it was hard because I would like forget, and I'd be like, I don't have anything to post, and I would have to like think about like something to post that day. But as I became more consistent with it, I think it became a little bit more routine and natural in my day-to-day to like remember to like film and remember that I'm going to post this and like have things like more structured because it became so routine and normal for me.
That's a good story, and I
Yeah.
think like one of the things that really caught my attention was the fact that you were watching other videos, other TikTokers being consistent,
Yeah.
and that inspired you to be consistent.
Yeah.
And I think like maybe that's like the beginning, the root of it was that consistency seems to inspire consistency.
Yes, I believe so. And I think it just shows not only that, I think one of the things that consistency like proves is growth. And I think not only obviously in TikTok and social media, but I think even in our like day-to-day like routines, even in our like work, even in our like health, but like even like very much spiritually. I think as you become more consistent, as you start, always it's hard, but if you learn to be consistent with it, it becomes a part of your routine, it becomes a habit, then it becomes very natural, and then I think you'll like start to see the growth in it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think I've seen your growth.
Mm.
And, you know, for anybody watching, like, I'm not the biggest supporter of social media, nor am I a big supporter of video games anymore. Like, because it's so addicting and it seems just like a distraction. But there's a difference, I think, because I've played games and I've been on social media in my life too. I know that there's a difference of I'm going to hop on a 5-man game and spend all night playing versus I got to create this video and I have to post it even when I don't want to post it. And I think like when you play video games, it's never like I don't want to play. It's like I'm ready to play.
Yeah.
So in your TikTok journey, I've seen the growth. I've seen you face challenges of not wanting to post.
Correct.
Can you tell me like a little bit of maybe when you remember, if you remember, the biggest moments where you're like, man, I don't want to post.
Yeah.
But you still were consistent.
It was definitely like the unpreparedness. Like I had nothing to post, or if I like forgot to film something and then I have like nothing to show. So those were probably the moments where it's like, like I don't want to post anything. The other thing is like the mindset behind it. Like I think it's like, what am I doing this for? Like it almost does seem purposeless. It's like, who am I really like showing this for? And I think that's like almost a negative mindset that brings the consistency down. And so I think those were probably my like biggest top two like moments that I did not want to be consistent. But it's interesting because the other side of it is like you almost want to give up because you lose like the purpose and meaning behind it. But I almost feel like that's the enemy telling us like there is no rhyme or reason for it and you should just stop. But I think what God really wants is like consistency and like to endure and to like never fail. And so I that was definitely a moment in time where it was hard.
And you know, let me transition into our Christian disciplines.
Yeah.
I mean, I think you have a lot of great principles. When we come to Christian disciplines, it's a little strange because I feel like the purpose is even greater.
Right.
At least in our minds.
Yes.
And maybe like not in our hearts. But I think like in our minds, like when we sit down for a sermon, like everyone can agree like, yeah, like spending time with God seems pretty important.
Right.
Stopping for God seems pretty important. But yet there's like a different kind of challenge. And like it's for me, I feel like most people find it very difficult to spend a few minutes in prayers, a few minutes walking. What is that like for you for your Christian disciplines? Is the challenges the same, or is it just different?
I think it's the same. I think it's always hard to start because you don't know what you're doing, and I think it's the same with like praying and like reading the Bible. I think a lot of people have this question of like, where should I read first? Where should I start? How do I pray? So I think it's the dauntingness of like, I don't know where to start and I don't know how to do it. But I think if you almost like have that motivation to want to start and like want to be consistent, I think it'll give you like a start into your like Christian discipline. I think people like tend to either have really high motivation and like start really strong, but then like dip down because they can't like continue with it.
So you're saying that most people you feel like aren't able to do it because they don't know what to do?
Yes, I think that's the start of it. And so I think there's like almost like a fear, but also like a lack of fear and I don't know, like lack of motivation too, because they're like, oh, it like they push it off and they're like, I could always do this another day too. So I feel like there's that aspect.
Yeah, I
as
think
well.
actually that part right there is for me what I feel like most people get stuck in is they go like, oh, like 5 minutes of just taking a walk, like it's not that big, so I'll just do it tomorrow.
Right.
I feel like even reading the Bible, like if I reduce it to memorize one verse, I feel like the temptation is like, oh, if it's just one verse, I can memorize it tomorrow. I can
Right.
memorize 2 verses tomorrow.
Mm-hmm.
It's not that many.
Mm-hmm.
The Lord is my shepherd. I lack nothing. He makes me okay. Like I can memorize 2 verses in one day, um, and yet like underneath that, the real challenge that everybody is faced with is like, can you be consistent and do 1 verse a day?
Mm-hmm.
Can you stick to the plan?
Right.
Can you keep going even though it is purposeless? What recommendation or advice do you have for our church as we are going through these disciplines to be consistent?
Yeah, I think definitely accountability. I mean, I have you who is helping us create these disciplines, and we do it together. I'm sure if we weren't obviously husband and wife and living together, I'm sure it would have been very hard for me to wake up earlier, go take myself on a walk, be still, and also memorize the Bible. I think accountability is huge. And so I think for our church, I think really finding one person to be accountable with, even if it's like a simple text message or a simple like reminder the night before, or somebody who you might be walking with in the morning or being still, and like, or like keeping track of like, hey, I'm gonna go to sleep now. And so I think accountability is huge.
It's
for
number
me.
one.
Yeah.
Yeah. I agree. I think
Yeah.
I remember my man project discipleship group, and I had them send the Bible chapter summary
Yeah.
and a selfie of them walking every morning at like before 8 a.m. If
Yeah.
not, they had to like run a mile or something.
Yeah.
And I think when they were really going strong, like to see everybody post it, like it's like there's no reason, there's no way you can say, oh, like I was like everybody knows, and there is that like sense of good pressure, I think. And then obviously if you're really close, like, what I mean is that is a group.
Yeah.
But if you're on like a one-on-one relationship, or you have a best friend, or you have like a brother or sister, that accountability is even stronger, because I feel like you can talk to them directly and ask them. And I think the important part of accountability, like to bring it all back, is that you get to see each other's growth. For me, like my encouragement is to be accountable and experience the growth together.
Right.
Because when I see Irene, for example, like go out or like get ready to go out, it's different when we first went out and when we go out now. When we go out now, like something that we talked about is recovery. I feel like in the beginning, it took us a long time to get out the door.
Right.
Like we would stay in bed a little bit longer. Like it just take a little bit longer to go get water and go pee and then go out the door, put on our shoes. And now it's like, it's kind of like fast. Like we wake up, we like sit there for like 2 minutes.
We understand that we're gonna go on a walk, so we have to like make sure that we get ready, get out the door like a certain time.
And like what you need to get ready gets shorter. Like you know where to walk. You know, that's kind of the challenge. Right. You don't know where to walk, but now you know where to walk. And I think seeing that growth makes me as her partner, as her accountability partner, be like, man, how can we do this? How can we even have a better time? You know, and now we have a whole schedule where like we go out, we come back, we drink a green drink.
He makes me drink a green drink before I go to work.
Yeah, and then we get ready, and then like she goes and I start working.
Yeah.
So.
And then we we like go for a walk, we come back, we be still. We memorize the Bible verses, and then we have the green juice. Yeah, and then we go to work. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So. So the conclusion of today's podcast is that if you really want to be consistent, if you really want to engage in these Christian disciplines that you know in some aspect that it's really good for you, not only do you have to be motivated by this talk of consistency, not only do you need to be told exactly what to do, like memorize Psalm 23, you need one final thing which Irene and I can't give you, which God is asking you to go find, which is someone to keep you accountable and for you to keep them accountable.
Yeah. And an encouragement for one more thing is that if you are being consistent and you do have that accountability partner, you will really see growth. And that growth is growth in your faith, growth in those disciplines, growth in everything that you do. Obviously, it's hard to see it in the beginning because it's always hard. But as you continue to do it, there's always growth. And so I think it's an encouragement to know that you'll see that growth later, but you'll see it with somebody who was with you from the start of it, and then also comparing each other's growth. Like, wow, like
Mm.
we were here, like didn't know,
Look how far we've
yeah, look
come.
how far we've come now. And so I think it's the accountability partner, but plus like seeing the growth from it
Yeah.
all. Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you guys for listening to another episode, and we hope that you check it out again next week. See you at church.